welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we are not in the Silverado or the Corvette today. Today we're in the Lexus GX550. This is my better half's car. And yeah, so definitely a change of scenery. You guys might be wondering, well, we've seen that car in the last couple of videos. It's been in the background. And today we're actually headed up to exclusive paint protection and detail up in Huntersville, North Carolina. And Brian, he's the guy that just recently did our Silverado. Well, he's going to be working on the front end of the Lexus as well. And he's going to be basically doing PPF, full front fender, full hood, the mirrors, the grille, bumper, and the headlights too, I think. So, full front end protection. And I don't think you guys can tell, but this thing actually does have a pearl white paint job. And that would be really hard to try to paint match later. So, we're going to go ahead and spend the money now, get it wrapped like we do most of our vehicles, and, you know, just protect that front end. And since this thing kind of sits like a Jeep, it has a lot of front flat face areas, especially the front of this thing. We want to protect that paint as best as we can, and I highly recommended when we ordered this thing that we wrap it in PPF, and so that's what we're doing today. We're going to go drop it off. So I was like, well, since I've got to go ahead and drive this thing, I might as well give you guys an introduction and an overview of this car. And so yeah, this is a 2025 Lexus GX550. This thing has a twin turbo V6. It does get up and go pretty quick. I wouldn't say it's as quick as the Corvette, obviously. I think this thing is kind of heavy. I think the last time I looked it up, it was like roughly 7,000 pounds with the gross vehicle weight rating, something like that. But it does have like a 9,000 pound towing capacity. So if we ever really screwed something up, we could tow the Corvette, you know, with this thing. Obviously, I wouldn't prefer to do that because this is my better half's car. But if we ever found ourselves in a situation where we needed to, we could go ahead and tow. But yeah, overall, my initial impressions are I like it. There's a couple things I don't like about it. The screen, for example, if you guys are in Android Auto and you're trying to get back to the Lexus screen, you actually have to like exit the full Android Auto, hit a Lexus button just to get back to the Lexus menu. And I thought that was kind of stupid because in my Silverado, you just click one button and you're automatically back into the Chevrolet menu. This thing's kind of stupid where you have to press the Lexus button and then go to the menu. So kind of annoying there. And I would say the other quick thing that I've noticed is if you guys can see the heads-up display, the speed limit does display there, but it also displays red when you're slightly going over that speed limit. You know, it's like, yeah, I know I'm speeding. I don't need to be warned about it. So that thing turning red is kind of annoying. Other than that, my first impressions are this thing rides pretty good. It gets not the greatest gas mileage out there, but you know, it's all right for what it is. And if you guys are wondering if we're getting rid of the IS350 F Sport, no, we're keeping that as a daily. This is kind of another weekend vehicle. Actually, if you guys can see the heads-up display, I'm not sure if you can see that. It's highlighted red that we're doing 42 and a 40. It's like, yeah, I know. Anyway, but yes, we are going to be keeping the IS350 because my better half does have a long commute to work, and I think this thing getting like 15 miles a gallon or whatever it does, this wouldn't be the best vehicles. And it'll help keep miles off this for a couple years. I think eventually she probably will go down to one car after this thing gets some miles on it and her IS just gets so old that it needs a bunch of work. Because right now, that's a 2014, it's 2026 almost right now. So that car is almost 12 years old, and so far, we haven't had any issues with it. And yeah, that's it for the initial impression. Let's head up to Brian's, let's get this thing wrapped, and we'll pick this up in a couple days. And so yeah, we finally got the car home from exclusive paint protection and detail. I'll have the proper name down below. I always mess that up, and Brian did a really good job on all of the PPF. They did the mirrors, the whole hood, the front fenders all the way to the door, the bumper. They did the fender flares here, the headlights, the lower part of the bumper, and this satin piece right here on the grill. And basically with this tri-coat paint job, it's gonna have, you know, your primer, your base coat, your in-between coat with the pearl in it, and then the clear coat on top of that. Trying to paint match this thing if it gets chewed up by rocks would be almost nearly impossible. So I'm really glad we got this thing taken care of. And I think we dropped the car off on Monday. Yeah, Monday mornings when I dropped it off. I picked the car up on Wednesday afternoon. So Brian only had it for like 2.5 full days. And it's just been kind of sitting here for the last couple of days. But it's back, everything's good to go. And I have personally put a couple miles on it because that location where we filmed the kind of beauty shots, I've actually shot some stuff there before with the Silverado. So it is probably a solid 15-minute drive there and back. So a little bit of driving on this thing. And so yeah, since I've put a couple miles on this thing, the one major thing I really don't like about it are the side steps. They're simply too high. And when I say it's too high, it's because I'm just about 5'10". I'm not super tall, I'm not super short either. But when you put your foot up to get into the car, if you actually stand up on that thing, it would actually put you over the roof because they're simply too high, like I said. If they were down a couple inches, that would actually make sense because it would be more useful. Now, my Silverado kind of had the same problem, but we replaced the factory side steps with a set of electronic fold-out side steps from Boost Auto. Unfortunately, I looked, and Boost Auto doesn't make anything for the Lexus or the Land Cruiser. I did look. I saw some like cheap options on Amazon and eBay. They were about $1,500. But I'll be honest, guys, I know nothing about the electronics, and I know nothing about the manufacturers that offer those cheaper kits. So if you guys are watching this video and you have a Land Cruiser or a GX550, and you have a recommendation on a set of electronic running boards on the side, let me know, because I'd be highly interested in getting a set of those for this thing, because like I said, the steps are simply way too tall to get into this thing. They should be down probably like 2 or 3 more inches. And if they were electronic, they would fold up and get out of the way if you're going to off-road this thing. This thing, yeah, not really ever going to see a trail, but it has that capability if we ever needed to. And so yeah, that's just kind of my immediate take on this thing. I will say this, a friend of mine sent me a picture of the tire inflator system. I thought this model might have it, but I think that option is only on the off-road version and not on the luxury or the premium. And I'll be honest, guys, I forget which one this is. This is the one without the moonroof. I think that is the premium version. I think this is the luxury version with just a regular sunroof. And the reason we stayed away from that moonroof thing is because we live in the South. If you had a giant glass panel in the top of your car, everything inside of it's going to be super heated. So we avoided that. I actually used to have a acrylic roof for the Corvette. These things did come with a transparent target top. I have a carbon fiber roof on there now. And the Corvettes suffer that same issue. Anything inside of the car gets super heated, even when it's not that hot out. And I had actually bought a shade to kind of use suction cups to stick up to that roof. So I was not a super huge fan of that top. It was only good for like 2 months out of the year. Basically right when it gets cold in the fall and kind of when it starts to warm up a little bit in the spring. That's like really the only good time to have a glass roof in the South. Because otherwise you're miserable 9-10 months out of the year because that roof will be letting in all that sunlight. There's nothing to diffuse it, and it'll just make the car even hotter. So that's one reason we didn't go with that option. So standard sunroof has a cloth thing that you could slide forward and close that out. So I think that's really the only other observation that we have is like we really don't miss that moonroof thing because like I said, there's no way. Some of the Fords and some of the Chevrolet and Cadillac, they have that option, but they have a piece of cloth that basically slides forward and blocks the light. Well, with the Lexus, that is not an option. It's just glass and that's it. And kind of like I was saying, we don't want a super heated ride when you're trying to get in this thing, trying to cool it down. You know, it's just wasting resources having the AC on blast even longer. So, but yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Is kind of just an intro to the Lexus, kind of the updates we've done with the PPF and stuff. And if I find something for the side steps, that might be a future project. Obviously, like I said, if you guys know of any recommendations, let me know. Because, like I said, I looked on the forums. I didn't really see any options. I think I saw some of the older models, people were trying to put the Lexus premium side step because they have that electronic option. But I think it wasn't hardwired for it or something like that. And trying to hardwire OEM parts into a car that didn't come with OEM stuff is kind of difficult. I'm running into that problem with the Corvette because you guys can see, you know, it's all torn apart right now. And that is because we're doing an ECU swap amongst other things. So yeah, trying to add OEM stuff to a car that didn't come with it is always an extra pain. And so yeah, that's gonna be it. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more updates on the Lexus, I don't know when that will be coming, but probably have some stuff in the future. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications. If you guys want to help support the channel, check out all the links down below. I'm not really going to have anything for a brand new car, but you know, we'll share some stuff. Also check our website, BonecrrusherSS.com. You get merch, parts, and all that stuff there, stickers, and all that. So that's to be it. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.